Was no jail time the correct decision in the Dominick Black case? Still with me, appellate and trial attorney Matthew Barhoma. Let's get to our first comment, Matthew, and it comes from Caitlin Audette. She says, you mean the gun that was irrelevant in the Rittenhouse case is now supposed to be relevant? Doesn't matter now since the guy who killed 2 people with it didn't get time for his crimes. Matthew, first and foremost, let me get your thoughts on this plea in this case.
You know, it makes a lot of sense, especially given the fact that there was no conviction in the underlying case, on the Rittenhouse case. And so because of that lack of conviction, there's a lot of lacking items here when it comes to this. And so I agree with this statement a little bit to some extent. You know, the gun here ultimately was not even a relevant portion of the case. The judge took it out. And so, you know, it makes sense that this kind of outcome be handled in the second item against Black.
Yeah, that was the state's argument. I'm going to go to our next comment, then I'm going to play devil's advocate. Our next comment is from Teresa Branham. She says, wow, cannot believe he got off so easily, nor can I believe Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. And again, she falls in that camp, and that's fine. We all watch the evidence. I don't necessarily disagree with the verdict in the Rittenhouse case, but here's my devil's advocate argument. The idea that part of the charge against Dominick Black was that he illegally provided this gun for an underage teen, which was absolutely right, and it resulted in death. And that made it a much more serious felony. Now, the death still resulted, Matthew. Now, whether he was convicted of murder in those deaths, I don't know how important that is. The idea was these deaths did occur, but for Dominick providing a gun to this teen illegally. And so that's where I fall on this, that perhaps it was more serious than folks are thinking just because Rittenhouse was acquitted.
You know, I absolutely understand that one, Michael. And I think a lot of the country feels the same way you do as well. And one of the biggest things that comes at the intersection of this Black case is gun control. Right, the ability to own guns means you also we got to be able to hold you liable for the safety of those guns and what happens to those guns. And if it gets into the wrong hands and it leads to the wrong items, we got to hold someone accountable for that. Here, there is a partial accountability, and the death were justified, at least legally, in court. And so ultimately, it almost feels like a slap on the wrist, and I think it is. It's a $2,000 fine, essentially.
It is. It's the equivalent of a traffic ticket, Matthew. So, you know, that's a tough one. Anyway, thank you so much, Matthew, for being on the show. We always appreciate you coming on. Love your insights. We'll have you back again on real soon. I'm Michael Ayala. It's been a pleasure being with you.